on an R&B Monday. The iPower Evening Show. iPower 1 FM.
Good evening, everyone. DeMarco, Ricky, and Rafael. This is Express Your Mind Monday on the IPES. All right, let's talk about what classic TV shows needs a reboot that affects what's happening today in our society. It can be from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I can name a few. The TV show Good Times, still watching the reruns on TV One. I mean, think about it. What happened on Good Times in the 70s is still happening today in the year 2020, going on to 2021.
Yes, sir.
Here's another one. This one is from the 90s. The TV sitcom Rock with Charles S. Dutton working minimum wage as a sanitation worker down in Baltimore, living in a middle-class black community with his family. I don't mind seeing that come back as a reboot because that talks about lots of serious issues on that show.
Yeah. I remember the episode where our brother Clifton Powell, who played a drug dealer, and Rock put his life on the line just to F up that drug dealer by beating his ass.
Rock was no damn joke.
Hell no.
When he grabbed that drug dealer and threw him against the door, I thought it was going to kill him.
Me too.
That's when I really got into the Rock sitcom.
Oh, yeah.
Because those kind of issues in black communities really hits home for some people.
Yeah, I mean, Rock was like the 90s version of James Evans.
Right.
There were real black men who cared about their family, their people, and their community that hated drug dealers and gangbangers.
Yes.
That's the kind of show that needs to come back. Yes, sir.
The ish got real.
Yes, indeed, bruh.
I don't know about you, but I would love to see New York Undercover come back.
I want to see that come back.
I used to watch that every Thursday on Fox during the 90s. Because think about it.
Oh, yeah.
What you see what's happening today in front of our eyes in the hoods across the country, or like here in New York or in Boston where I live, it's what you are seeing right now today in 2020.
Yes, sir. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm hearing that Dick Wolf, the executive producer of Law & Order, SVU, Chicago PD, and many other shows, I'm hearing that he's now trying to bring back New York Undercover. And I'm also hearing that Malik Yoba may skip the reboot this time around. And I'm like, what?
Are you
No,
serious?
I mean, come on.
Nah.
Malik Yoba was the star of that show, along with Michael De Lorenzo, who played Detective Torres.
Yeah.
Now, how are they going to bring that character back? Because he was killed in season 3.
Yeah,
For
that's
real.
what I'm
That's
saying.
what I want to know.
I don't know how they're going to do that,
Right.
but as for other shows, I would like to see 227 come back.
Yeah.
That's another show, Regina King and legendary Marla Gibbs in her mid-80s, still relevant. They could do something about that reboot.
What about Jackie Harry?
Miss Sandra?
Let's be honest. She was the real star of that show as Sandra Clark.
She was.
No disrespect to the main star, Marla Gibbs, as Mary Jenkins, who threw a lot of shades towards Sandra Clark.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot out-talk Mary Jenkins.
Oh, you ain't never
She was
lied.
no match for Mary.
Sandra Clark was not winning that argument between her and Mary Jenkins, but at
No,
the same
no.
time, that character, Sandra Clark, stole the show.
She
After
did.
Jackie Harry left the show on 227, the ratings dropped so low
It did.
that Regina King, Paul Winfield, nor Stoney Jackson could have saved the show.
No.
Not even when Bobby Brown was on the show as a guest star?
Not even
Nope,
Bobby Brown.
Not even Bobby
in his
Brown.
Prime.
In his prime.
Right.
Now, can the TV show Martin make a comeback?
Well, without Tommy being there, God rest his soul, that's like Will Smith trying to bring back the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with James Avery, a.k.a. Uncle Phil, even though they're working on a Fresh Prince drama.
Yeah, I want to check that out. That's kind of awkward to see the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air going from a sitcom to a drama.
Right.
Yeah, I also want to check that out when it comes out. Speaking of Fresh Prince, I was so happy to see the original Aunt Viv meet the second Aunt Viv on the Fresh Prince reunion.
I saw that. I'm going to watch it again later on tonight
I
before
saw
I
it
go to
5
bed.
times.
That was some closure after 27 years between Will and Janet Hubert.
I saw it twice.
All right,
Yeah.
what is your take? What classic TV shows need a reboot that affects what's happening today in our society? It's the EYM. Let's go to the phone lines.
Join the conversation now on the iPower Evening Show.
Express your mind. Express your mind. Express your mind.
Clarence, you're next on iPower 1 FM. Go ahead, Clarence.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey, how's it going, brother?
What's up
what up,
there,
Clarence?
bruh?
What classic TV shows need a reboot that affects what's happening today in our society?
I would like to see Good Times come back as a reboot. Because whatever happened back then in Chicago is really going on right now nationwide.
Right.
New York Undercover needs to come back.
For real?
That cop show with J.C. Williams and Detective Torres was definitely a hip-hop show. You
Yes,
feel
it
me?
was.
The Martin Lawrence Show is also a hip-hop show, whether people want to believe it or not. Should Martin make a comeback?
I would like to see Martin make a comeback, but it wouldn't be the same without Tommy being there. Now I mean?
Yeah,
God,
I hear you,
yeah.
Clarence. Tommy was one of the main cast members that put the show together. Thanks for your call, brother. Robert, you're next on iPower 1 FM. Go ahead, Robert.
We're going DeMarco Ricky.
Hey, how's it going,
What's up
Robert?
there, Robert?
Hey, what up, Robert?
What classic TV shows need a reboot that affects what's happening today in our society?
Yeah, man. Me will like 50 Cent for that song come back.
Really?
Me like Red Fox or Lyceum. Even though him dead and gone. We need to bring that back and and have someone that is similar to Red Fox.
Right.
You sit there and laugh off the backside when him going after Esther.
I love Sanford and Son.
Aye.
I can never get tired of Fred Sanford.
Hell
Red
no.
Fox will go down in history as one of the greatest comedians of all time, alongside Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby, and Paul Mooney.
Those are the original kings of comedy from the 70s. We ain't
Right.
talking about from the 2000s with Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, Cedric the Entertainer, and Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
Plus, let's not forget about LaWanda Page, God rest her
Oh,
soul,
yeah.
came out of the Red Fox era of stand-up comedy with her and Moms Mabley
Yeah,
as the Queens of Comedy.
Right.
LaWanda Page was a stand-up comedian back in the day before she made it on Sanford and Son.
Wasn't she the bronze goddess when she was performing live acts with fire?
Yeah, that was her performance in real life.
Yes.
She was also a cigarette girl at the Playboy Club, I believe, long before she made it on Sanford and Son.
No,
I miss LaWanda Page.
Me like both Esther and Fred Sanford. Hopefully them can find someone to do the reboot.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, me talk to you later.
Later, bro.
Right now.
Thanks for your call, Robert. Stacey J, you're next on iPower 1FM. Go ahead, Stace.
So Stacey J represent hip-hop.
Hey, how you doing, Stace?
What up there, bruh?
Stacy!
What classic TV shows need a reboot that affects what's happening today in our society?
Definitely good times these should come back, you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially when you have a black man like James Evans in charge of the household, yo.
You see, Stace, with TV shows like Good Times, that would have to be a new generation of actors involved, including Bernadette Stannis, who played Thelma alongside Janet Jackson, all grown up as Penny.
You don't think Ralph Carter, who played the militant midget Michael Evans, want to come back for the reboot, or even Jimmy Walker for that matter, if they decide to do it?
In my opinion, I can see Jimmy Walker coming back to play an older, adult, mature JJ, but I don't see Ralph Carter coming back to play Michael Evans.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about that, but we'll see if they do a reboot. Mike, you're next on iPower 1FM. Go ahead, Mike.
How are ya?
How's it going, Mike?
What's up there, Mike?
What up, dude?
What classic TV shows need a reboot that affects what's happening today in our society?
Well, I would like to see Three's Company make a comeback as a reboot, even though the late, great John Ritter is no longer with us. See, back in the 70s and 80s, there was no such thing called political correctness. What was in the original Three's Company with Jack, Janice, and Chrissy was awesome.
Now, Mike, this was not the reboot we was expecting to talk about, but now that you brought it up, I used to watch Three's Company back in the day. I always thought that Suzanne Summers as Chrissy Snow was more hotter and attractive than Janice. However, there was a lot of perverted stuff that happened on that sitcom.
Oh, yeah.
That would not be allowed today in this PC era in the year 2020.
No.
All that sexual advantage stuff that happened on Three's Company back then wouldn't fly today, because the hashtag #MeToo movement would be all over that reboot. And the Three's Company sitcom today in 2020 would not get past 5 episodes with flying colors.
Hell
Forget
no.
about passing one season.
But you gotta admit, Chrissy Snow on that show was more hotter than Terry when she came on a few seasons later.
Yeah.
But as for Jack Tripper, John Ritter, God rest his soul, was the main star of Three's Company.
Yes, he was.
Loved Don Knotts as Mr. Fairley, plus Larry and them. Wasn't really feeling the Ropers, but John Ritter was and always has been the real star of Three's Company, hands down.
I wasn't feeling the Ropers
Right,
on
me
Three's
neither.
Company, nor the spinoff. But as for Chrissy, Suzanne Summers was hot back in the day. I don't know about now with all that plastic surgery. She looks a mess.
Hell yeah.
Pete Sonny, you're next on iPower 1FM. Go ahead, Pete.
Black Cat Pete Sonny on the loose.
How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's up,
Hey,
Pete?
brother, what's going on?
What classic TV shows needs a reboot that affects what's happening today in our society?
Now, my brothers, I would like to see the TV show Good Times come back, and I would also like to see the TV show Rock come back, because those two shows has a lot to do with the issues and the struggles that affect black people today in this country.
Correct.
Now, James Evans was a very strict black father who cared about his wife Florida and his kids. He was very strict with that belt when it came down to corporal punishment.
Right.
And whether there's a law in the books today that prevents corporal punishment, some black fathers are still performing corporal punishment on their children.
You ain't never lied.
As for Rock, played by Charles S. Dutton, who the character came from a black middle-class neighborhood in Baltimore as a full-time garbage man, and also was a very strict black man, cared about his community when it came to the drug dealers and gang violence, who he wasn't afraid of.
No.
Now, that's one black man I can respect, along with James Evans, played by John Amos. Those two shows, Rock and Good Times, had strong, powerful messages on how black life was back then and now, then both shows deserve reboots of what's happening today.
Thanks for your call, Pete Sonny. Now, even though Good Times and Rock was a sitcom, both of those shows dealt with real-life situations when it came to black folks.
Good Times, you already know, including Rock, caught my attention back in the day when it relates to the most serious issues of African Americans, like that little boy who was shot and killed over a jacket.
Right. I didn't get into Rock at first, but let me take this last call and I'll get back to Rock. Rayshawn, you're next on iPower 1FM. Go ahead, Rayshawn.
Hey, what up, DeMarco? What up, Ricky? What up, Rafael?
How's it going, my brother?
Hey, what's up there,
Hey,
bro?
what up, Rayshawn?
What classic TV shows need a reboot that affects what's happening today in our society?
Well, before I get into what classic shows that need a comeback that relates to our people, finish up on what you were saying, my brother. I want to hear what you have to say about the TV show Rock, which I myself was a big fan of when it comes to our people, black people.
All right, thank you, brother. Rock, played by Charles S. Dutton. This was back in the early 90s. I wasn't into Rock at first, but when this episode that caught my eyes with drug dealers moving into the black neighborhoods of Baltimore, that's when I became a big fan of that show. That's when Rock, his wife, Eleanor, played by Ella Joyce, his brother Joey, played by Rocky Carroll, who was still relevant on CSI.
Yes, he is.
And the father, Andrew, played by the late Carl Gordon, a.k.a. Pops on the show, organized an emergency community meeting about the drug dealers moving into the black community. When black people walked out of that meeting, for the exception of one person who was a neighborhood vigilante, played by old school rapper Tone Loc, who hated drug dealers.
Yes, he did.
Now, we all know who Clifton Powell was, from Menace to Society, Dead Presidents, All Eyes on Me, legendary black actor.
Pinky from Friday.
He played Andre the drug dealer. When him and his boys walked into Rock's house unannounced, Rock had that anger in him and was ready to beat Andre's ass when he saw those drug dealers
DeMarco,
in
we
his
got that
house.
clip right now.
We got the clip?
Yeah.
All right, hold on, Rayshawn. This is from the Rock episode, Nightmare on Emerson Street. Here's a clip.
Hey, look, if you came for the meeting, it's over. Everybody left.
Yeah, well, we are here for the meeting. What I'm trying to say, man, is I think we're the reason for your meeting. We're your new neighbors.
This is what you little punks look like up close, huh?
Now, Rob, we just came by to talk. Least y'all could do is invite us in. Where's your home training, G?
I ain't got none for the likes of you out here. Come on.
Don't even go there.
Now, you want to talk?
Don't go there. Don't go.
You want to talk? We'll talk.
Let's go, fella.
Yeah, but just you.
Y'all wait for me back at the crib, man. This'll be easy.
Okay, Mr. Big Shot crack dealer. Let's talk.
I got a nice little thing going across the street, you understand? And I don't need somebody like you messing things up with your little phone calls to the police and your stupid ass block parties. This ain't none of your damn business, man. You understand? I'm trying to get paid, you understand? And I don't need you butting into my affairs. I thought this was a nice neighborhood, man.
Yeah, it was a nice neighborhood. It's always been a nice neighborhood.
But I'm a businessman, you know what I mean?
You a businessman?
That's right.
Is that what you call yourself? You ain't no businessman. You're a murderer. And you're killing your own people. Now, you may have done your killing someplace else, but it ain't happening here.
Why are you trying to be a hero, man? Let's cut through all the crap, all right? I'm gonna make things real easy for you, man. How much they paying you down at that little funky garbage dump?
But you think you can buy me off?
I'm trying, G.
I don't want your damn money, you know. I'll empty trash cans for the rest of my life before I take money from you.
Well, I got drugs, homie. What you need?
Listen to me, you little filthy punk. I don't think I made myself clear. I don't want your drugs. I don't want your money. I want your sorry ass out of my house and off my street. You understand?
Okay, now you gotta stop this now.
Stay out of this, Ellen.
I don't think you want to do this, G.
Oh, yeah, I've been wanting to do this ever since you moved.
No, I don't think you want to find one of these loved ones of yours in one of those garbage cans you pick.
If you ever so much as look in that direction, I'll run down on you and I'll break your back.
Oh, don't hurt him, son. Not here.
Now you don't know how crazy I am.
Rock, let him go, please.
Hey, Rock, all right.
Son, come on.
Okay, Rock, okay. Okay. Well, it's obvious we're not going to be able to work this out tonight, all right?
You see, you don't seem to understand. See, we ain't got nothing to work out. I want you gone from here. That's my bottom line. And I'm gonna lean on you every day till you're out of here. I'm gonna be in your face every day and every night. When you close your eyes, all you're gonna see is me, no matter how long it takes, even if it kills me.
That right there is powerful.
Rayshawn, your take. What classic TV shows need a reboot that affects what's happening today in our society?
Definitely definitely Rock should come back, because that was one of my favorite shows of all time that dealt with black issues. I most definitely can remember Rock invited the FOI of the Nation of Islam into his home to help get the drug dealers out of the community.
Yes.
I think that was one of the reasons why Rock got canceled by Fox.
Of course.
The issues got too black for white folks.
Oh, you already know.
Same thing with James Evans when he got too black on Good Times as a strong black father in the household, and when the producers got rid of him for speaking up about Jimmy Walker's character JJ for acting a coon.
Yep.
Both of those shows need to come back, including New York Undercover. Definitely needs to come back.
For real.
And one more thing, my brother. The most important black TV sitcom that definitely needs to come back, and that is A Different World, showing our people attending an HBCU, talking about black history and education of our people.
Right.
Those are the shows that need to come back as reboots. Peace, my brothers.
Thank you, Ray Sean.
Peace, amiguito.
Later, bruh.
All right, reading your text next.
Hip Hop and R&B Monday.
We got more of the iPower Evening Show coming up in hour 4, plus the email bag. Reading your emails on tonight's topic, coming up at 20 minutes before the hour. Meanwhile, we're streaming on our official website, iPower1FM.com or TuneIn.com. Keyword, iPowerFM, and listen to us 24/7.
Incoming message.
Text your mind. All right, text your mind on the EYM. Talking about what classic TV shows need a reboot that affects what's happening today in our society. Lamar JB from East Orange, New Jersey writes, Good Times, Rock, and New York Undercover needs to come back. BK Tyler from Crown Heights, Brooklyn writes, Martin, Rock, The Fresh Prince, and A Different World.
Incoming message.
Pat Summers 67 from Worcester, Massachusetts writes, I like to see Family Ties and Growing Pains make a comeback.
Queen Peanut 718 from the Bronx writes, definitely New York Undercover. 227, Welcome Back Carter, Rock and A Different World.
Incoming
Proud Jamaican Reggie from Jamaica, Queens writes, I like to see Rock, Martin, and New York Undercover. Farrah J 1976 from Rochester, New York writes, I would like to see Living Single, A Different World, Rock, 227, and Good Times come back. Wow.
Alberto 84 from Providence, Rhode Island writes, New York Undercover, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Martin. Marcos Ray 787 from Bushwick, Brooklyn writes, New York Undercover, The Fresh Prince, and George Lopez. Jibo PR 23 from Springfield, Massachusetts writes, Martin, The Fresh Prince, and New York Undercover.
Notice how people are picking New York Undercover.
New York Undercover was the ish back in the day.
I totally agree. In fact, I say it's way better than SVU and Chicago PD, because New York Undercover dealt with the hip-hop generation back in the day.
For real, that's what made New York Undercover so different from all these cop shows. But I wouldn't still sleep on SVU or Chicago PD.
Yeah, I still watch Law and Order SVU with Ice-T and Chicago PD when I get a chance.
I tune into both SVU and Chicago PD when I get a chance, to be honest. Both shows touched on race and police killings of unarmed black and brown folks. So, Ricky, what's the moral of the story?
Remake shows are necessary if it affects the lives of black and brown people in our communities nationwide. I don't see Three's Company, Family Ties, or Growing Pains anywhere near the struggles that black people are going through. Don't get me wrong, I used to watch those shows growing up back in the 80s, and I still love the Brady Bunch from the 70s, but still, we need to focus on the reality of what affects us in our society today that needs a remake.
Thanks,
For
Rick.
real.
Shout outs to iPower 2 on our YouTube channel, keyword, iPower 1 Real. We'll do this again next time. For those who are leaving us right now, listen to us tomorrow evening on our show. Those who are staying, stay tuned. We'll be right back. My phone going off.